And hi, Be Critics fam. Welcome back to the Be Critics podcast.
This episode is part of our Coming to Theaters or Now in Theaters series where we discuss new movies spoiler free.
And in this episode, we're covering Saltburn and what you need to know before you head to theaters.
There's
And
plenty to know.
before I head to theaters, because I haven't seen it, sadly, but Liz saw it last night.
Yes, I got to see it at the advanced screening that Amazon Studios put on in my city, which is very fun, very exciting. We'll talk about that later, but yeah.
Like super early. It doesn't even come out until November 22nd.
Yes.
So that's
Yeah.
crazy. How exciting.
I
I'm so
know.
jealous.
I know. It was very, very cool. It was actually done too in partnership with the Atlanta Film Society. So there was a bunch of film students there as well, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that is so cool. This definitely
Yeah.
seems like one that like film students would be interested in.
Yes.
Yeah,
We
like
sat next
very
to these two guys and they were just like having the time of their lives.
Oh,
I was like,
I'm
this makes my
sure.
experience so much better.
Oh, cool. I would
Yes.
have loved to hear their like comments from beside you. Also, because I heard it's funny, so like having them
Yes.
giggle, I bet they like overreacted to every funny thing.
Yeah, this is definitely one you wanna go see in, like, a full theater because
Okay.
the people's reactions, they're
Nothing better
good.
than a full theater, honestly. It like totally can change
Mhm.
your experience of a movie.
It really can. It can,
Yeah.
like, immediately sway, like, whether or not, like, going in you think you're gonna like the movie. Because if there's, like, no one there, you're like, "Oh, man, like, why am I the only person who's interested in this?"
Yeah, well, yeah, but also if it's a full theater and like if the movie just came out and everybody's been anticipating it,
Mhm.
there's a little bit of excitement. And then also when there's like funny parts and everybody's laughing, I feel like it makes it like way more funny.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, so I think you went to the Taylor Swift thing too. Was your
Hmm.
theater full for Taylor Swift?
Oh, it was so full that I bought the last tickets in the theater and I was in the very front seat.
So my theater was the exact opposite. I went with a
What?
girlfriend, her name is Olivia, and there was like one other couple there. It was like a couple, and so we were like, "Do we sing? Can we clap? Should we
I
stand up?
mean,
Like, what should we do?"
I sang like the whole time. But I was sitting so close to the screen that I was literally, like, laying backwards and looking up, so I was, like, lounging and singing. It was, like, an interesting experience.
That's hilarious.
But we're not here to talk about Taylor Swift,
No,
so,
we're not.
Liz, would you tell us what Saltburn is about?
Felix, an extremely wealthy Oxford student, has the life of dreams. Dreams that Oliver, an awkward, nerdy Oxford scholarship student, can't even imagine. That is, until Felix takes a liking to Oliver and invites him to spend an unforgettable summer in his sprawling family estate, Saltburn. Nude sunbathing, black tie dinners, forbidden romance, and wild parties fill their time. And like a moth to the flame, we all fall in love with the Cattons and their whimsical, extravagant way of life.
Sounds scandalous.
It's a
Also,
little scandy. It's a
l
little scandy.
love a good British movie.
Oh my gosh, the accents. Y'all know. We already talked, if you follow us regularly, we talked about the Robert Pattinson thing.
Yeah, we're not gonna get into it because it's
We're not going to
embarrassing.
get into it. You can go listen to our episodes and find it. But man, do I love a British accent. Where we can pull it back to Taylor Swift. You know, I love a London boy.
Oh my god. That didn't need to happen. Okay. This this movie is 2 hours and 7 minutes long.
Mhm.
A really good time for a
That's like
movie.
a modest time. Yeah. It
Better
was, I
than
mean, yeah,
Killers
it
of
was
the
fun.
Flower Moon, 3.5 hours.
Yeah, that was long. Very, very long movie.
But it's rated R, which makes me think that these party scenes are going to be fun.
Mhm.
It it comes out November 22nd and it's produced by MGM,
Mhm.
directed by Emerald Fennell.
Yeah, which this is her sophomore effort.
Okay.
Um,
Which is what
that's
people look at.
yes, yes. The sophomore effort is always very important. Her first movie, which I'm forgetting the name of it now, but was very successful and it's kind of known for like tackling tough subjects, and she brought that into this
Promising
movie
Young
as well.
Woman.
Yeah, Promising Young Woman, yeah. So she's also an actress and a screenwriter. So she was in the movie Barbie. She played Midge, which is the pregnant Barbie, which is hilarious. And then she has two original screenplays that are coming out next year in 2024. So she's credited on Ballerina and Lift. So
Just imagining, hey,
more from her.
Midge, never
Never
mind.
mind. Yeah.
Yeah, she's a pretty iconic character now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
She'll
She's
forever be known.
recognizable.
Mhm. Mhm. This movie also has an extremely notable cast.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're gonna, like, talk about the highlights, but, like, even the extras, like, the people that are just kind of, like, in it for a second are even, like, notable people. Like, it's
so
crazy.
cool. Yeah, I was watching the trailer and just every single cast member, I was like, I wanna see this so badly.
Well, it's coming
So
out soon, so you can.
I know, I know. So we've got Barry Keoghan,
Mhm.
who we love, and then, you he's, like, known for creepy movies. So
Yeah,
it's kind
he's
of
creepy. He's, like, everything I've seen him in, he's a creep.
and this movie's, like, a thriller, right?
Yeah, it's a psychological thriller slash dark comedy.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
So,
yeah.
okay, he's perfect for that. Then we've
Yes.
got Jacob Elordi.
Mm.
Okay,
We'll talk about him in a minute. We're gonna talk
I'll save it, I'll save it. Okay.
about him in a minute.
Rosamund Pike, love her.
Mhm.
Archie Madekwe, we also love him.
Good year for him. Great year.
Great year for him. He's been in so many movies. Great year for a lot of these people.
Yes.
Allison Oliver and Richard Grant, and
Mhm.
like you said, a number of other smaller supporting roles as well.
Mhm.
So, Liz, tell me about like who who in the cast do you think like won the star performance for this one?
I mean, I think they all did, not gonna lie. If we're looking at, like, potential nominations for awards, Barry Keoghan, is it Keoghan or Keegan? I don't know.
Keoghan.
Barry. We'll just call him Barry. Barry and Rosamund Pike are definitely gonna be your people who are looked at in this
Yeah.
movie. I mean,
It's
that's yeah.
yeah, it's so interesting to me that Rosamund Pike like cuz this movie is supposed to be like it's a thriller, right? But it's kind of like a comedy too.
And a
And
drama. It's very, very drama.
yeah, but like Rosamund Pike, I think she's kind of known for like being somebody who is really a really good comedy actress,
Mhm.
even though you mostly know her for darker roles like Gone Girl
Mhm.
or like more dramatic roles. So I think it feels like the right kind of movie for her.
It is. She is a shining star. She's perfect. There's a scene floating around. I wouldn't recommend for anyone who's not interested in spoilers. I wouldn't recommend like watching the scenes that they've released because they've released clips. I would not
Okay.
recommend that. But there for people who don't care, there is one floating around. Like if you just like have to know like a little bit about this movie, there's two scenes floating around. But one of them is Rosamund Pike, and it's pretty much just like it's a short clip, but it's just her like delivering a joke. Like
Oh.
so well delivering a
Oh,
joke.
that would ruin the punchline if you like went and watched the movie, you know? Like you wouldn't have that wouldn't be the first time you've seen it. So,
Yeah. I mean, it's
maybe.
not the only funny thing she says, but and you don't really have any context of like how she's saying it or when she's saying it or who she's speaking to. It's just her. But if you're interested, you can go and see like a little sneak peek into the comedy that is this movie.
Okay.
Um
Yeah.
So there's two of these. Okay, also let's talk about Alison Oliver because this is her debut feature length film,
Dang.
and she blew my mind. I was looking at her, like watching her on the screen, like thinking she was this like seasoned British actress. No, no, she's not. This is literally her debut, and that was like really cool watching her because she was just so good. Honestly, everyone in this movie was fabulous. Um, but she specifically, like, I think she's going to be doing some really cool things coming up here.
She's the blonde girl in the movie, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's interesting because, like, I was watching the trailer and she came on and I, like, felt like I recognized her. Like,
Mhm.
she seemed
Yeah.
recognizable, but maybe
Yeah.
that's just 'cause she's pretty, I don't know.
She's got the look.
Yeah.
And then we have to talk about Jacob Elordi because he is
Yes.
on a roll. He is quite possibly one of the most attractive people on the face of the planet right now. And he just played Elvis, and now he's playing this like bougie aristocrat guy. Like,
Yeah. So
uh,
I last night didn't get the chance to see this movie, but I did watch Priscilla in
yeah,
theaters, and Jacob Elordi plays Elvis in that movie, and
perfectly.
so good and also literally so attractive. I was like, "Who is this man?" And so I texted my sister, like, immediately after the movie and was like, "Jacob Elordi, like, I know that name." She's like, "The Kissing Booth."
He was in all the Kissing Booth movies.
Yes, and then it all came flooding back,
hmm
and he's also in Euphoria, so people know him from that, but,
Yeah,
ooh, he is, like, the it boy right now.
he is our it boy for sure.
Yeah,
I'm
very
here
much
for
my
it.
type, tall, dark, handsome, really great cheekbones.
hmm
Yeah,
And
also
we
good
already,
actor.
yeah, great actor. He goes from being like the strong, like Southern boy Elvis to being this British aristocrat. And it's like you're looking at the same person, but it's not the same person. It's crazy. He is so good in this movie.
And
Um,
he's Australian, so, like, his accent range is pretty good too.
I'm here for it. Barry Keoghan, because we have to talk about him. We already said he's usually in creepy movies, or he's known for his creepy movies.
Yeah.
And he gets a little bit of creepy in this movie, but he's also extremely attractive in this movie.
Really?
Yes.
That's really unexpected.
Yes.
Because I would
Yes.
never like, I've seen him in Killing of a Sacred Deer, and he's not cute in that one, so that's throwing me.
So it's funny that you bring that up because Emerald Fennell said that that was the reason why she called him in to
Is that
audition for this
movie?
role is because of that movie. She was like, I
Well,
have to
he
have him. He's my
I
Oliver.
feel like he does a good job, and I'm sure in this movie you can attest, like, how he does, but I think he does a good job, like, you can see in his eyes, like, he's got that little bit of crazy in him, and
Mhm.
I just think it comes across really well somehow, and I just know that's gonna be, like, a part of this movie.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so tell me, Liz, is the trailer for this movie safe? So you mentioned that there's a couple clips that are not
Yeah, like
super
spoiler
safe.
clips. Yeah.
I've watched the trailer. I always get really nervous about watching trailers before
Mhm.
the movies. And this one didn't really seem like it had, like, a lot of substantive
Substance?
I was gonna say substantive. Isn't that a word?
Hell if I know.
Doesn't have a lot of substance, okay? We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I think this trailer is 100% spoiler free. It's a safe
Cool.
trailer. Anyone can go and watch this trailer. It's not gonna tell you anything about this movie, like literally nothing.
The only thing it
Um,
does do a good job of, I think, is, like,
mhm.
telling you the people that are in it and, like, highlighting them really well.
Yeah, showing you who's in it. Yeah,
Yeah.
without telling you like who their characters are or like what their characters do or anything like that. Like
Yeah.
from the trailer, you wouldn't even know that this is a psychological thriller. It just looks like a
Mm,
drama.
I think you would. I think I
I
caught the
didn't.
vibe of the
I had
movie.
no idea. I didn't look up this movie at all, but I did watch the trailer before I went to the movie yesterday, and I was shook.
Really.
I was like, "Oh, ooh, this is different than I thought." I thought it
Like,
was gonna
scary.
be like a drama. It's not really scary, but it is a thrill. Like it's psychological.
I love a good thriller with, like, a little
Mhm.
bit of a mystery aspect to it, like, you don't
Yes,
know exactly what's gonna
yes.
happen next. Yeah,
You're gonna
love.
love this. You're gonna love
Ugh, I
this.
know, I know. Okay, so tell me, like, as much as you can about the story without giving it away.
Yeah. So we already talked about it being a psychological thriller. It's a dark comedy. The central theme, which I think you will catch on to from the trailer, is it's like all around desire. You know,
Okay.
there's these like really wealthy people. They have this crazy party at some point, and like you just kind of get the idea that there's some kind of something going on, right?
Yeah.
Um, I will say the story is it's got a lot going on. I have 4 words that I'm using as a descriptors. I've got
Okay.
intense, emotional, sexy, and disturbing.
Sounds
So
like a movie I would love. All those
it
4 words together.
it's also way, way funnier than I was expecting. I am not great at picking up on like sarcasm or dry humor, and British humor can sometimes like get the best of me. But I got all the jokes. I was laughing along with everybody else in that theater, and I wasn't expecting it because I haven't seen any of the cast members like in a comedy role before.
Mhm.
So it was like kind of like refreshing. It's like a fresh thing because you're like, oh, that guy's like actually pretty funny.
Yeah, I think the premise looks interesting because
hmm
it's like school age kids, right? Like college kids basically.
Yeah, they're at Oxford.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So the premise is kind of like I think what people are into right now. Like I don't know. I always imagine like the euphoria vibes, like sex life of
hmm
college girls. Like people want to see
Yes.
like the drama of
Yes.
students and like live vicariously through them. And
Just like young
um,
people.
yeah,
But this one specifically um, is raunchier because it's got the wealthy people. It's
yeah,
wealthy
like
people are
Gossip Girl.
always yes. So I was like, while I was watching it, I was like thinking of movies that like all tied together that could like kind of sort of explain this one, which like I probably won't do a very good job, but I'm gonna do it anyways. Gossip Girl's not a movie, but that's the first thing that came to mind. I was like, oh, this is like giving me Gossip Girl vibes, but also kind of Pride and Prejudice and like
Okay.
Cinderella. If Cinderella was a man, and then also maybe Clue. I don't know. There's like a lot going on.
Yeah.
But it was like all worked so, so well. I
Okay.
was like,
Does it have a
could
romance aspect to it?
yes.
Ooh, love that. Oh my gosh, you're making me want to watch this so badly.
Lots of
Also,
romance.
I saw that it's set in 2006.
Mhm.
Which I feel like for our age group, like millennial age group, is gonna be like
Mhm.
super amazing because it's like that time when we all grew up and we're potentially in that age when we were like
Mhm.
in high school, in college. And I mean, I was a child then, but I feel like I still can work with that.
Mhm.
But how was the like soundtrack? I've heard it has like a lot of like 2000s like pop bangers,
Yeah.
basically.
It's
Yeah.
really, really good. The music just like adds to the scenes. Like there's nothing other than there's like one scene where the music is the scene, but like typically
Okay.
the music is not. Like it's kind of like it's adding to the atmosphere versus like being the central focus,
Cool.
just like adding to the overall like 2006-ness of it.
Yeah.
And the fashion they got like on point
Ooh, I
with like
bet it's hideous.
the 2 polo shirts with the popped collars and the Livestrong bracelets.
The Livestrong bracelets.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
just all
I
around
bet that in and
fabulous.
of itself is like a throwback. Like I bet that like adds so much to the enjoyment of this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
You
think
can
about a
tell the
movie.
time period.
Yeah, yeah, like think about a movie you watch and like it feels like the two or the 90s, right? And like you're like,
Mhm.
"Oh my gosh, it's such a 90s movie." Like
Mhm.
not too many movies like today are set in the early 2000s, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah. I guess probably moving forward, we will probably have more movies that are set in the early 2000s because we're like 15 years off from all of that
Yeah.
now.
Well, and like that's right before phones really hit. So like if you want it
Mhm.
to be before the iPhone era, like you've got to set it in like
Not even
early
iPhone, but
2000s.
social media.
Oh
There's no
yeah,
social
social
media.
media. Yeah, that totally changes the way that people interact. So that's so
Yes.
true.
Yeah.
Wow.
One other thing I have to say about the story, I'm not gonna say too much about it. But this movie just for people going to see it, don't feel bad if you really, really liked this or really, really didn't like this, because
Yeah.
it's probably going to be controversial. Like there's some themes that come up throughout that some people are really going to enjoy and some people are not. So just keep that in mind. Like don't feel bad about the way that you leave the movie theater because it's designed that way a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I've heard of people, like I've seen people who've gone and seen it early and like reviewed it really highly, and then a few that didn't. And like
Yeah.
I but there's not really anybody who was like in between. So,
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah. Is there anything like specific that's like controversial?
It kind of, well, not kind of. It plays with like wealth and power dynamics and also just like poking fun at wealthy people and how they live.
Oh, yeah. That could def be
So
controversial.
that can just like rub people the wrong way sometimes. So
Yeah.
don't feel bad like if someone who you like follow on the internet like doesn't like this and you really liked it. Like that's just the nature of the beast. It's kind of how movies are in general, but with this one specifically, I can see how that would be off-putting for people.
Okay. Do you want to move on to the cinematography?
Let's do it.
So,
So the cinematographer is Linus Sandgren. I'm sure I butchered that. I think his name is actually Linus.
Linus. I feel like I
Linus.
would read that Linus.
But
Linus. Who's the
anywho,
Linus? It's from
the
Charlie Brown.
Peanuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this movie, and you'll notice it right away when the movie starts, but the aspect ratio is 1:3:3. So it's a square.
Really?
And yes,
What?
yes, it's
What?
very different. And
Are
I
you
was like,
kidding?
"Whoa, wait a minute. No, I'm literally not
I
kidding."
think I noticed that in the trailer.
Yeah.
Wait, that's crazy.
Yeah, and part of the reason why they did that was because the majority of the movie is filmed in this estate, which is very boxy, and so it kind of, like, frames every scene very well to have
Okay.
it square versus the like widescreen, but also Archie Madekwe and then John Elordi are so tall that they wouldn't be able to get full shots when they if they did it wide like that, or it would look like they were really far away.
Jacob Elordi, how dare you call him John?
I called him
Mm,
John.
yes.
Oh, I don't even know where that came from. Jacob Elordi. I'm literally looking at his name right here. Anywho, they're so tall
They are
that
tall. Both of them
yeah,
are tall.
6'5".
Yeah.
Mhm.
You're telling me they made this movie square because these men are tall?
That was part of their
I'm just kidding.
justification,
I'm just
yes.
kidding. But I do get now how you're saying this movie is like Clue. Like if it's
Mhm.
filmed a lot in the estate, like I bet it
Yes.
kind of has like a Knives Out feel, like that like classic like murder mystery like in the house kind of thing.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
They also save, like, a lot of the explanation about what's been happening throughout the film until the end. So you get
Cool.
that, like, callback right at the end as well, which is pretty cool. And then one more thing I had about the cinematography is that they paid such good attention to all these little details. Like they'll be like in a pub with a group of people that have obviously been there for a long time, and there's like stuff all over the table. It's not like there's just like one cup. There's like it
Yeah.
looks like they've been there for a long time. Or like with the female characters, like their hair isn't perfectly done all the time. Like you
Yeah.
can see their roots or like whatever. And it just like makes it feel more
More realistic,
realistic.
especially to the
Yeah.
early 2000s. Like people were not as pulled together as they are today
Yeah.
with their perfect like airbrush makeup look all the time.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. What about this movie like stood out to you? Like made it different?
um I mean, it's a original screenplay, so it's not you're not gonna feel like you've seen it before.
That's cool.
Um, but also I just like the acting, it was so perfectly cast. Like everyone was pulling their own weight. There wasn't a single person where you were kind of like, how did you get this part?
Yeah.
They were all very, very good. And like I can appreciate that. I
It's a
enjoy
big
that.
difference.
Yeah. And Barry and Jacob have like incredible on-screen chemistry. Like
Cool.
it's incredible.
You can tell from the trailer even of
Mhm.
them meeting like that they have good chemistry. And
Yes.
it's intriguing because they're not two
Mhm.
people who you would like think of having good on-screen chemistry. So
I can't imagine Barry Keoghan having chemistry with anyone, but here we are.
you're the one that said he was actually cute in this, and I'm thrown.
I
Or
was thrown.
attractive.
I was like, why am I attracted to him right now? I don't know.
He's like the
But I think that's
biggest
the
creeper
point.
ever in Killing of a Sacred Deer. Like, I'm like disgusted that you think that. Like, I'm just kidding.
Well,
It's just
just
that
wait.
character was really
Just you
creepy.
wait. Just you wait. He does have beautiful
Also, like,
eyes.
how could he even look remotely attractive next to Jacob Elordi? Like, seriously?
They're not
That
always in
man?
the same scenes.
Yeah.
But also, attractiveness has a lot to do with personality.
True, true. Something crazy in the eyes. It's attractive, you know? It gets you.
Just like men love the crazy, women love the crazy.
People don't say that enough.
It's true. A little bit of crazy. You can't
Just
be
a little
like,
bit.
you can't, okay. You can have this
Women
much.
only get the crazy because of all the other things that they do. So you have to come with all these other things and then you can be a little crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, so I'll just like quick touch on the in theater experience. Like always, like movies are going to be better the bigger the screen you can see them on. And this movie was shot so well that you're really going to want to be able to see it like up close and personal.
Yeah.
And then also, I saw this through Amazon Studios, which I mentioned already, but I'm pretty sure these screenings are free for all Prime members, as long as they're doing one in your city. So I'll send Courtney the URL and we'll post it on this video. But it's prime premiered on Amazon, and you can go on and see what premieres are coming up. And a week in advance, you can sign on and get tickets, and it's free. They give you popcorn and a drink, and you get to
Cool.
see movies for free early, which is super
That's
fun.
so cool. Our man, Linus, I'm looking him up, the cinematographer. So he did Babylon, and he also is known for La La Land. So I bet,
Oh.
like, to kind of what you were saying about
Hmm.
you want to go see it in theaters, like, I bet the experience of seeing this one in theaters
Hmm.
is really cool.
It's funny that he's associated with Babylon because Margot Robbie is one of the producers on this movie. So they must
Hmm.
all be connected, like all
Oh,
of
I'm
them.
sure. Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
anything Margot Robbie puts her name on, you know it's going to be fabulous. So,
Yeah. It's really interesting. Like, the more and more movies we do, the more and more connections that you see in the
yeah, you
industry of
create them.
people.
You're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh, I get it.
Yep.
Yeah. But be
I-
prepared in not the next episode that comes out, but in future episodes, I'm going to have my Saltburn poster up here. So it will be a nice addition to my wall.
We've recorded like 4 episodes in between that, so it's gonna be a while, people. But
But
it'll be
by
there.
Christmas.
Yes, yes.
Which like leads me into my rating.
Oh,
So
yes. I'm so intrigued.
I'm giving this movie 5 out of 5 stars. I
Wow.
know. I was really impressed. I had actually made the decision that I was giving it 5 stars like less than halfway through. I was like, this is a 5 star movie.
Wow.
And I was
I'm
so excited about it.
I
I feel
wanna
like I'm hyping
see
it
it.
up now and people are gonna be like, wasn't that great. But
I wanna see it so bad.
it was really, really good. I really enjoyed myself. I really had fun with
Oh my gosh, so jealous. Okay, I'm gonna try to get on this, like, Prime premiere thing for next
it.
week. I'm dying.
um, okay, so there's not a ton of ratings out there because this movie hasn't come out yet.
Yeah.
Um, but the letterbox average is a 3.8, which is really promising. That's a really good
Mhm.
average. The tomato meter is 81% and IMDb is 7.2. So it's up. It's got some pretty good reviews. And I have a feeling that once the like general public gets to see it, that the ratings are gonna go up because it's such an enjoyable movie. I will say it's rated R. It is for mature audiences, but if you fall in that category, I can highly recommend. Highly recommend. Do not take your kids to this movie, but everyone else.
I can definitely fall in that category, so I will be there.
All right. So before we sign off, I want to extend a huge thank you to Amazon Studios, the Metro Atlanta Geeks, and the Spring Cinnamon Tap House for sponsoring this viewing that I got to go to. And then just a quick reminder that Saltburn does come out on November 22nd. So if you're interested in seeing it, tickets will probably go on sale very soon.
Yeah, go see it. I'm gonna be there. All right.
I'll probably go again too. So
Wow. That is the sign you know it's good.
I know.
Okay. Sadly, it's time for us to say goodbye, but thank you for tuning into our Saltburn spoiler-free movie review episode. Be sure to leave us a rating, a review, drop a comment on our YouTube, and leave us an answer to our poll and Q&A section on Spotify.
You can find more information about our podcast and our whole podography on our website, bcritics.com, or you can find links to all the things in our link tree in the episode show notes below.
And be sure to subscribe and follow so that you don't miss any of our future episodes. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts.
That is it for this one, so we'll see y'all very soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye.